The deck,
Good morning or afternoon whenever you're watching this. We are on our way to Home Depot to pick up some supplies. We need bolts and drill bits because we break them every time we use them. And today we are, well, this weekend, we are putting up some deck brackets. We will be putting in the rails that are going to hold our solar panels.
this doesn't look good.
The battery's dead. We've been kind of limping along just using one battery anyway, just to avoid batteries sitting around doing nothing. But now we have to go get batteries.
This was our wee little single battery we started with that the previous owner was so nice to supply us with because the bus wouldn't crank when we purchased it. So he gave us this little battery to get us going and down the road. Well, this little guy did not last very long at all, so we had to make the trip to Wally World, and well, this is what we replaced this with. So 3 batteries. So this is a simulation of how our deck brackets will function for us. This piece will be drilled and attached through the existing rib inside the bus, just like these rivets are. And then I will attach this upright piece. I don't have the exact measurement on this right now. I'm altering it as I build it. And that will require a slight angle to be cut also to allow our deck rail to sit flush this way so our boards will lay flat. So these rails will be approximately 10 feet long. We're going to have wood joists that run this direction, and then our deck will run front to back on top of that. So our brackets need more well, that says 14 degrees. We're 5 degrees over. So I need to mark that back to a 10-degree angle to level this rail out. It's gonna run up to hold our deck. And let's see what kind of angle we have on this now. And it looks like we are zeroed out. So that means we're level. So our 10-degree angle is perfect. So now I just need to finish cutting 3 more of those. Get those tacked together. Bring up here and put the rails on and see if it works. So this is the underside version of our deck brackets and mounting them to the roof. So I've located the spot we needed to drill, And you'll be able to see it on this side and how it hangs off the rail a little bit. So these are we're gonna use 3/8 bolts and go up in there. But what we're gonna do is actually build these washers. So we're gonna take our bolts, go through the washers and go through the rail, and that's gonna give us a lot bigger bite. I'm gonna have this washer welded on either side to the hat channel, and also the head of the bolt is gonna be welded to this, so we will have a stud sticking up through the roof that we'll never have to worry about loosening, tightening. We can remove the deck if we had to for some weird, odd reason, but we'll never have to come back through the ceiling again.
All right, so what I've been doing is grinding off all the kind of rust residue so that this metal is smooth now, and we can prime it and paint it. These are gonna be the deck rails. I'm doing coats of paint on our deck rails, and in between that I've been helping Tim measure and do chalk lines. So we probably haven't exactly shown this about ourselves, but Tim and I are extremely competitive, like to a fault. We're competitive with each other when we're supposed to be on the same team. But I told him yesterday in Home Depot that the bolts he was getting were too short. Well, you can see him. He's been on the roof all day, so he's already kind of pissed off. He was testing out the rail install, and lo and behold, the bolts were too short. What's the matter?
I'm just thinking.
What are you thinking?
I'm not sure. Wish I had some long bolts. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, so the bolts were too short?
They just weren't stretched long enough from the factory.
Oh, gotcha.
So.
All right, Tim is installing the rails for the solar, which we use the aluminum T-rail. But these are the amazing rails that he fabricated. I know a bunch of you guys can probably do this too, but I'm super impressed because I can't do things like this. So here are the three pieces. We had the angle, the square tubing, and then of course the big long 10-foot square tubing. In order to keep the top of it flat for the wood, you had to angle that little small piece. So I just think it's genius, and I'm gonna brag on him for a little bit. Those are going up next. In part 2 of this video, we'll show the installation of the rails, so stay tuned for that. Please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, if you haven't already, to click the subscribe button, ring the bell, and you can get notifications of our videos as soon as they post.